But you can see that it's not right because you have seen that there is no Peter. And you know that, but it's not yet settled in here. That's what I talk about clearing up, is you can have a Kensho experience or a flash truth or even a little bit. But if it settles back into consciousness, if it settles back into being Peter instead of consciousness, then we're off base. So the thing to recognize is not that you are conscious, you are consciousness. There's one consciousness. It's the same old consciousness we always looked for. I mean, it's the same old consciousness we felt we had, and it's the same consciousness that we thought there was some consciousness at a higher level. Because we use those terms, and I'm not really adverse to those terms. I just don't like to use them where we're talking very precisely, like in here. So I got to realize that what's talking to you right now is the same thing that's hearing this, same being. The difference is that when being is coming through this body, there's a certain set of conditioning in the body and in the mind or whatever. There's a certain set of conditioning that it's going to come through. Everything that has happened to the unit since it was born, and everything that it came with before it was born, all the DNA. So it's a combination of the DNA and the circumstances that the DNA finds itself in that feels like a center of somebody. It's not either. Just notice the sense of being, and notice that if you're noticing the sense of being, you actually can't be the sense of being because you're noticing it. You're noticing it, and the feeling is, it's not really true, but feeling is that it's something else. And in truth, the sense of being arises through this body only because of this body. If there's not a vehicle for consciousness, consciousness doesn't arise. There's got to be a vehicle for consciousness, and there has to be the openness in consciousness, or however you want to put it, the willingness to accept the truth. What consciousness notices is that there's something here, and it's not the same in terms of image, but it is the same thing underneath the image, because it's just one thing underneath the image. That's what you are. That's consciousness itself. You are actually beyond consciousness because you cannot not be present. But you cannot know that you're present. If you're awake and you don't know that you're awakened, then the experience that the unit will have is that I'm not awake. It thinks that you're giving when I start giving a report, when I do that, somewhere in there, I'm probably going to telegraph that I'm either coming from Fredness, from the unit, or from consciousness. There's not two things there, but there's a variation of the same experience. I'll put it that way. Recognizing the non-personal nature of consciousness is a good way to notice the impersonal nature of everything else. This mouse, it doesn't have an opinion of me. It's just a machine. It's just a tool. This doesn't have an opinion of what I think of as me either, because it's just a unit. Units are inherently empty, but what they are is that by being no thing unto themselves, they have the capacity to appear as anything and anybody.